Nigeria. But
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Temitope Olodo, and welcome to our live program. Today, we're talking about Diaspora Separatist Advocacy and UK immigration law. Now, let me explain what we're talking about. In the last 60 years of Nigerian existence, as we speak, there's been a lot of discussions, and a lot of Nigerians, both home and abroad, have been involved in one agitation or the other, either because they're not happy with the way the regions that they belong to or the state they belong to is being governed, or they're not happy with the Nigerian setting in terms of the structure. And there's no doubt that around the world, even in the United Kingdom, Canada, America, people have concerns about governance, and they use the legislative and democratic means available to ensure a change in the structure. They either get involved in election, or they get involved in lobbying, or all kinds of things, but they do it through legitimate means. Unfortunately, in Nigeria's case, there was a time in Nigeria's history when the agitation led to a civil war, which took place for some few years, and the Nigerian state survived it. So the Nigerian state survived it. And if you're watching us right now, I want you to like this page. I want you to share this page. We are only speaking in English language. We are not speaking in any other language. Now, what is the context to our discussion? The context to our discussion is there is a law in the last 3 to 4 years, roughly. There's been a lot of agitations in Nigeria, which is not different from every agitation that is happening maybe in Scotland, in Catalonia, in Spain for separation, even within the UK, for UK leaving the United Kingdom, leaving Europe, and they went through a legitimate means. There was no picking up of arms. They went to a legitimate means. There was a referendum. People voted that they wanted to leave Europe. Some people were not happy with it, but they considered, and we are now out of Europe. So they say it was a marriage of convenience. They were not happy with it. Now, Nigeria has two populations. I put it that way. There is the 200 million plus Nigerians that are within Nigerian territory. And there is also the 17.5 million Nigerians, increasing by the second as people are giving back and people are dying, that are living in the diaspora, in America, in the United States, and in the United Kingdom. Today, our conversation is about those that are living within the United Kingdom. Why are we talking about them? In the last few weeks and few days, there have been a lot of agitations, and that agitation is to do with leaving the Nigerian state. That is not a new thing for people to say they want to leave. But now, when they are asking to leave, they have added violence into their agitation. That is what we're talking about. And a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora, especially in the United Kingdom, have been giving funds to these agitations, and also speaking about it publicly with their name and their details online. And the question we're asking today is that even if the Nigerian government has not declared those groups that are calling for agitations and are including violence in their agitations, even though the Nigerian government has not declared them, have not proscribed them, which is the legal term that is meant to be used, they've not been proscribed by the Nigerian state. Is their action tantamount to being involved in a terrorist group? And can that affect their immigration status in the UK? That is why I have with me today Mr. J.K. Adebola, with all due respect, Adebola, who is an immigration practitioner in the United Kingdom with many years of experience who has been to the court, who done so many things, you know, and who will now speak to power on this matter, because there is need for us now to speak on this issue. But before I go on to show one or two videos that I want to show, I want to open the floor for him to generally just speak about his experience, you know, in UK immigration, and then we will now move into the issue. Now, I have been asked what kind of violence have happened. I'm happy to answer that question. Where the definition of terrorism in the United Kingdom, because we're talking of the United Kingdom, I'm not talking of Nigeria now, I'm talking of the United Kingdom. Definition of terrorism in United Kingdom is where somebody use force, coercion to threaten a population or a group, even though they've not used violence. When they threaten to use violence against a selected group, and that group is threatened by that assertion, and very importantly, that assertion is linked to a political aspiration or cultural association, that is deemed as terrorism. That's the definition of terrorism in a nutshell. So, the Yoruba nation, some have argued, and I'm not arguing this, but some have argued, and that's the discussion we're going to have today. Some have argued the fact that they've put up a flag within a nation, they've not done a referendum of any kind to ask any individual whether they want to be part of the Yoruba nation or not, and they have threatened to drive people out of the Yoruba land, as defined in southwest Nigeria, if they do not belong to that area, especially the Fulanis or the Hausas. I've not heard them saying they want to drive the Igbos, but they said they don't want anybody that is not Yoruba there. That's the more or less. But they put up a flag. They threaten to use violence against political leaders who do not ascribe to their assertion. And not only that, they said they're going to stop, that there's not going to be any election come 2023, which is a fundamental right within the Nigerian constitution. And saying that people cannot build houses or stay in anywhere where there's freedom of movement is more or less attacking the fundamental principles of some Nigerians. That's the reason why they could be tagged as having terrorist intention and being a terrorist. That is open to debate. So we're going to have that debate today. And I've got an immigration lawyer who is talking from an immigration perspective. Yeah, and we're talking from a legal perspective, and we're going to be defining the law. Now, that is one. Then we have iPod, which also are calling for Biafra state and saying that they do not want they don't want to be part of the zoo, as they call it, and which is Nigeria, and they have been involved in all kind of atrocity, killing government officials, which are police officers. So violence have been involved, and they have also threatened violence. So it's not just about using violence, but threatening violence comes within the definition of terrorism. So now let me bring in our immigration lawyer, J.K. Adebola, to actually tell us more about himself, and then I will then play one or two videos to explain what I mean, and then we will now go into breaking down the immigration. Now, if you're watching me right now, I want you to like this page. I want you to share this page. I want you to tell your friends, neighbors, and anyone that cares to watch that we are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube, and we are live on Twitter. And we're going to be live on LinkedIn in few seconds. So, my dear brother, sir, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience within the immigration rules, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presenter. As you rightly said earlier on, my name is J.K. Adebola. I'm an immigration lawyer based here in the UK. I came into the UK in the early 1990s, and I have been living here ever since. I've been practicing immigration now since 1998, and I've had various legal experience from it. And even for those who are not even lawyers, for anyone who has lived in the UK for the past 10, 15 years or more, we will know, would have noticed that the immigration law has evolved and continues to evolve almost on a daily basis. Things do change at will, and sometimes even for those practicing in the industry, sometimes they find it difficult to keep pace with it because it's a fast-moving industry where the government keeps, changing the laws as situations occur. Um, One of the issues we're going to be talking about today, which is the counterterrorism, which borders on counterterrorism and Security Act 2015. That too, that act on its own has evolved too, which again boils down to the fact that as the world changes, the law governing our acts, our actions, our interactions with other people do change as well. So that is why I believe this program tonight is important, especially for Nigerians living in diaspora, because there are certain things some of our people are doing out of ignorance, and that's I'm using that for want of a better adjective to describe some of the things that I've been seeing our people be doing. So that's why I think this program is very, very important for people to listen attentively and to listen with an open heart. This is not a program you listen with a closed heart, believing whatever it is you think you believe all along. You need for you to grasp, because we are not here to castigate anybody. We are here to enlighten our people, to let them know that it is not a free for all anymore. The world has become a small village now, whereby whatever you do or say, has direct or indirect repercussion. If not now, but maybe later on. So that is why I think this is a program that everybody must tune into and listen attentively with an open heart. Perhaps doing that, you'll be able to grasp one thing or the other that will maybe disabuse your mind about certain things that you hold so strongly about. Because at the end of the day, we all need, to keep abreast of the societal changes, and as it is changing around us, we need to be alive to it, and we need to keep abreast of it and ensure that we avoid unnecessary mistakes that may prove costly, not if not to ourselves directly, but maybe to generations coming behind us. So in a nutshell, that is how I think I'll just leave it there now, and maybe if there's any need for me to come in again, then come in.
Thank you so much. I think you've hit it on the nail. Let me seize this opportunity to quickly to say to people, if you're watching me right now, you can like this page, you can share this page, and you could tell your friends and neighbors that we are live talking about the impact of joining or paying money, being part of the Yoruba Nation or IPOD. I want to share a video, sir. And this is the reason I'm sharing this video, is so that people could really understand where we are coming from. Please watch this video, my people, and listen to what is being said.
We have cowards and spineless, lily-livered idiots as governors. They have given over our land to the Janjaweed to occupy in perpetuity. This very generation, this very IPOB will not tolerate it. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We would rather all perish and die than to allow our land to be taken over by the Janjaweed. It cannot happen. This is a warning to all the governors who are conspiring due to one political consideration or the other to give our land to infidels and blood-sucking demons from the Sahel. It cannot happen, not under our watch. It's not going to happen. Not.
Okay, now, you've seen this video, sir. The video is very, very clear. He has an army there, and they are marching, and he's saying that infidels, that other Nigerians are the infidels, are not allowed in that state. So as a citizen, is threatening other Nigerians from coming into Southeast Nigeria. Based on the UK definition, that threat is that group now, IPOD, which have been proscribed by the Nigerian government. Is that a terrorist group or not a terrorist group, sir? Yes or no?
Yes, it's a terrorist group.
Now, I'm going to show a video, another video, sir. And the reason I'm doing this is so that we could fulfill all righteousness. So nobody can say that we are not doing the right thing. Please watch this video, sir. For people that are watching, this is an ambush of military vehicles by people who belong to that group called IPOD, as they said, alleged, and they burn it up. But I want you to watch towards the end. The individual is going to the back of a house, a back of a building, and there are people there, so he knows those people. And watch carefully, there are people that are lying on the floor who have been killed by this individual. Look at them there. They're telling him they know him, so they are lying him in. Look there and look at the leg of people on the floor dead, 2 or 3. So I'll take off that video right now. Sir, based on the video you just seen, because I want to be very, very clear so people know what we are talking about. Based on the video you just seen, where people have used violence and have killed other Nigerians in the cause, whether they be civilians or whether they be military personnel, is that an act of terrorism or not? Yes or no, sir?
Yes to that.
Okay, sir. Let me play my last video from that group. Yeah. Because people need to know exactly why we are doing what we're doing. This is a video of a police station that have been raided and attacked and set on fire by people within that cycle. IPOD. So they went into a police station and they killed people. So it's not a matter of joke. They went there, they killed, they burnt, and caused terror in that place to the extent that the state governors now have come together and set up a network to counter this group called IPOD. And you could hear gunshots and you could hear all that. They are recording themselves causing all this havoc. And you've seen it. So where people have caused this kind of havoc, set fire on a legitimate police station and killed people, are they terrorists or not, sir? In line with the UK definition, yes or no, sir?
Loud yes.
Yes, and it's important to highlight that IPOD have already been proscribed by the Nigerian state. So let's be very clear.
If I may just butt in for a second, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I can read somebody on the comment section here. Somebody was asking, please explain what you meant by violence.
Yes, sir.
So I think the video you just showed now, if that does not explain to him what violence means, then I don't see how anybody else can explain that to him. So that's all I just want to make clear.
Okay. Now, we're going to go with another video, and then I'm going to ask you the question that he asked, because it's important. We are here to educate and share knowledge and thoughts. So when I need to show you this video, sir, because this is an individual talking about what they would do what they would do. This is a diaspora saying what they would do to kings and leaders of the Yoruba land for not supporting them. So please listen to this video and
a message back to the Alake of Egba land. Orúkọ tèmi ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì. Orí tiyín la máa ti kọ́kọ́ fàgbọn. Èmi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Tẹ́ bá rò pé n ta gbé dání child's play là ń ṣe. A fẹ́ tú àwọn èèyàn sílẹ̀ tán. Chinchin ló kù. Ẹ mọ̀ pé water pass gàrí nígbà tá bá yabo palace yín. Ẹ rò pé rí là ń ṣe. A ti fẹ́ débì kan. Ó kù díẹ̀ ká release air. Ẹ gbọ́ wẹ́n, ẹ gbọ́ gbòs. Pé n ta gbé dání kò ní di wàhálà. Bàbá làárọ̀ ni wàhálà yẹn ń bọ̀ à ń sun báyìí ni ẹni tó bá lẹ́mìí ẹ̀ òun ló máa dúró ẹni tó lẹ́mìí ẹ̀ ẹ̀ máa gbọ́ nígbà táriwo yẹn bá débi tó yẹ kó dé ẹlòmíì náà àwọn ọba yẹn yàtọ̀ sáwọn tó ti sọ̀rọ̀ sókè dáadáa ṣẹ́rí tí kò sọ̀rọ̀ sókè a máa lé kàbàkàbà orúkọ tèmi dáadáa ẹ wò Ọláyọmí Kóìkì mo ti sọ fún yín ìran yín púpọ̀ nu yín òun ló lé gbogbo asóko ẹrú àwa fi ń tó yín létí nísìnyí pé tẹ bá rò pé ẹ ní nǹkan ẹ jẹ́ tètè máa lo nǹkan yẹn nítorí pé tá à ń bá yín fà kò ń ṣe nǹkan kékeré a máa fàdélẹ̀ ni ẹ̀yin lẹ máa lọ sí exile nítorí pé púpọ̀ nu yín ẹ̀yin lẹ rán wa lọ sóko ẹrú púpọ̀ nu yín ẹ̀yin lẹ ṣe jàǹbá fọ́mọ Yorùbá ẹ̀yin wá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé ká má da ogun sílẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ò mọ̀ pé ogun ti wà nínú Nàìjíríà látijọ́ tí Nàìjíríà ti dáyé ẹ gbọ́ bá bá wèrè ẹ gbọ́ wíníwíní nígbà tá a bá tú àwọn ọmọ eruku sílẹ̀ eré lẹ̀rù pa à ń ṣe orí gbogbo yín la máa kọ́kọ́ fi fágbọn yàtọ̀ sáwọn ọba gidi tó ti sọ̀rọ̀ sókè ẹ lọ sọ fún gbogbo àwọn ọba àti politician pé ìntagbédá ni o kò ń ṣeré o and we are not joking my name again is Ọláyọmí Kóìkì ẹ wojú yẹn dáadáa confam ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú Òde abáyín fa ntí ẹ̀mí yín ò ní gbédélẹ̀ ẹ rò pé ìntagbédá ni ẹ rò pé a fi ń ṣeré ni ẹ rò pé kérékéré là ń ṣe ẹ̀gbọ́n wíníwíní ẹjẹ́ a máa bá awareness lọ bó tó bá dé stage kan 30 days ni wọ́n fún ìjọba gbogbo South West before 30 days after 30 days before 30 days after 30 days a máa gbóná a máa yẹruku ni àwa lọ́bi kankan ojú ibi tá a wà náà ni àfi tó bá jẹ́ pé ìjà tá a gbé dání ìjà rọ́ là ń pa tó bá jẹ́ pé níta gbé dání kò ń ṣe pé Elédùmarè mọ̀ sí tó bá jẹ́ pé ìjà tá a gbé dání kò ń ṣe pé a fi ń sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá láti dá dúró UK is only 67 million wọ́n lè máa gbádùn kíyà máa jà wá ta jẹ́ more than 67 million kéèyàn kan wá máa sọ fún wa ní láti pálásẹ̀ pé ká má dọ̀gùn sílẹ̀ ogun ti wà nínú Nàìjíríà kò sógun nínú Nàìjíríà the governor of Benue State was almost killed today ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá ń sọ pé kò sógun ẹ̀yin ò sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà tó ọmọ Yorùbá ti di refugee ní Benin Republic ẹ̀rí ìbá ba madness àṣẹ̀ǹbá yín fà lọ́wọ́ ni ẹ wojú tàwa dáadáa o ntẹ bá ní kẹtètè gbé jáde ìtawà náà bá ní àjọpọ̀ tí wọ́n ṣòkòtò kan náà.
Now, the gentleman spoke both in English and Yoruba language, but the summary of it is that they've already declared war. There's going to be a 30 days ultimatum. There's no discussion of referendum, just that his group and his associations or his friends are ready to cause chaos. That's what he said. And they're going to the palace and threatening all governors in the Southwest. So we've already said the definition of, we've already discussed what the definition of terrorism is, which is not just about the use of violence, but the threat of violence. So now let's go down into the immigration rules now so that we can explain it. Now, based on Appendix V, the Appendix V, which is visitor, people will visit the UK website, UK government website, and submit an application. And as we speak, some of them have 5 years visa, some of them have 10 years visa, some of them have 6 months visa. But when they were answering those questions, they were asked, do you support a terrorist group? Do you fund terrorist group? Most of them will have answered to the affirmative, to the negative, to say no, they are not supporting those groups. If, however, they are now supporting these groups that we just shown their video, can their 5 years visa or 10 years visa be revoked at the point of entry by an immigration officer if it discovers that they are supporting a terrorist group, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, because not just the immigration rule, even the anti-terrorism, the Counter-Terrorism Security Act 2015 empowers either the police or anybody else at the border at the point of entry, yeah, to stop anybody from entering the UK who has been identified, not necessarily engaging, even just tacitly supporting such separatist group. Yeah. they have the powers to stop them from coming into the UK, because as far as that law is concerned, if you are considered not to be of public of any good to the public in the UK, then the UK government has the power to stop you from coming in. And even if you are in, they have the power to revoke whatever visa you've got and send you packing.
Is off. Now, people need to understand that when you mentioned it, you highlighted that law of 2015, we're not talking of the 70s now. We're talking of now. Now, as we speak right now, the law is different from the law in the 70s. And when Scotland said they wanted to leave, or they want to still leave the UK, they are going through legitimate means of referendum. This group have not done any referendum. They don't have any legitimacy of any kind to do this. It's just a group of individuals coming together and saying, we want to leave. Now, do they have justifiable reason to have grievances? Yes, of course. There might be different reasons why they have grievances. But do they have a right to violence? No, they don't. So, and you just explained to me, sir, and for all those that are watching us at home, like this page, share this page right now, tell your friends, start a watch up party, on Facebook, and let people know that if you have a 5 years visa or you have a 10 years visa, and at the border, at the point of entry, you are identified as supporting these groups who are calling for violence and who have been involved in this kind of video recording, you might lose your visa, and it might be cancelled. So when they lose the visa at the point of entry, please, because a lot of people do not know, they just think that it's like maybe America, they watch this program on American TV where you lose your border, you sit down one place, and then they interview you, and then they put you on the next plane. Please, can you explain to them that there's also something under Section 10 of the immigration rules that says that they can be detained, so they could be sent to certain detention center very close to the airport. So if you could mention one or two of the detention center they could be sent to, and what could happen afterwards, sir?
The most prominent one is the one in Hammondsworth, near the airport there. What the reason why normally they detain somebody there is maybe at the time they've not perfected the return papers for that person to be returned to their country. They'll put it there so that they can keep watch over you. You can be there a day, 2 days, a week, a month, anytime until, because you see, now this is one thing that our people fail to realize, that this government has a tight control over their immigration rules. And it's more or less like they can do anything under the immigration rules. And God help you if you don't have a good lawyer that can fight your case. You may be there for years, and nobody will, nobody will know you are there. So that is why what we are doing is, like I said earlier on, we're not here to castigate anybody. We're just telling people to be very careful. To be very careful what we do, what we say, who we associate with, because every action you take in this part of the world has consequences. This is not Nigeria where you can just do anything and expect to get away with it because you have a godfather somewhere. In this country, every action you take has consequences. And if you are banned from coming into the UK, if you are stopped from coming into the UK, there will be a ban placed on you, anything between 5 years to 10 years, which means you will not be allowed back into this country. So this is why we are throwing out this warning now to everybody to say, look, be very careful. Don't listen to this program with your closed mind. It's not going to do you any good. You need to listen to this program with an open mind. Try and grasp something out of it. We're not here to castigate anybody. Because for me, it's not going to be a joy for me if I see my fellow brother or sister being turned away from the UK, or who is already in here. His visa or his nationality or his British nationality is now being revoked and sent out of the country. It's not going to give me joy. So that is what we are doing now. It's left for our listeners to either listen with an open mind and grab something from here, or not. The choice is yours. If you just permit me,
go ahead, sir.
I just want to say certain points here. Because I was talking about the Counter-Terrorism and Security Act 2015 earlier on. There are certain salient points that I want our people to get now, because this act, empowers this government, in so many ways. It says here that the act will enhance the ability of operational agencies. And when we talk of operational agencies, we're talking of the immigration, the police, and the likes, to monitor and control the actions of those who pose a threat. That's point number one. Again, it says the act will combat the underlying ideology that feeds, supports, and sanctions terrorism. That's another point. The third point I want to make out here is it gives the police power to temporarily seize a passport at the border so that they can investigate the individual. This is at the point where if they are doing this, they will now take you to a detention center and you may be there for as long as they are still doing their investigation. The investigation may take years because, for instance, if they are doing an investigation, and that investigation means that they have to contact Nigeria for something. We all know how good or bad our system is back home. If they write to the Nigerian authorities, the Nigerian authorities did not get back to them for a year or two, that means you're going to be languishing in that detention, unless you have a good lawyer who can fight for you, and you must have money, of course, because the lawyer is not going to do it. It's not going to do it for you for free. So that's another point that I want our people to get. Now, it says the act will create a temporary exclusion order that can temporarily disrupt a British citizen. Now, we're talking British citizens now, not a Nigerian citizen. A British citizen suspected of involvement in terrorist activity abroad from returning to the UK. We were talking about Shamima Begum the other day here. It was under this act now that she was stripped of her British citizenship. Now it says the act will improve law enforcement agencies' ability to find out who is responsible for sending internet communications, assessing an internet communications service. So you can see, I just read the relevant ones to our people here. It contains more and more of similar points like that. But I just decided to bring all these ones out for our people to know. If you are engaging in on internet communication with anybody or any group, that is seen as a terrorist group, or whose actions, because it is not necessary that the group is tagged a terrorist. If the action of that group, proves it to be terrorist, in quotes, you may be treated as somebody who is supporting an act of terrorism. And don't forget again, when in this country, under the immigration rules, if you are trying to naturalize in the UK, you have to prove to the Home Secretary that you are of good behavior. And what that means is they will check even ordinary parking permit. If you have a parking permit that you have not paid, you can be refused naturalization in this country. So you can now I'm not trying to go. I'm going to the minutest offenses now, not to talk of you now supporting a group that is threatening another country or a group of people in another country. It doesn't matter whether the group is here in the UK or not. If it's outside the UK, so long as their actions is threatening to other people or to other countries or to a group of people, you are treading on a very, very thin line. Whether that group is proscribed or described as a terrorist group or not. So I just want us to get all of that into our system today, and I hope our people do.
Thank you, sir, because you've raised a lot of very important question, and I think it is important for me to highlight that because I'm getting a lot of questions here. So some people are saying, okay, fair enough. Those people with 5 years visa, 10 years visa, that's their own wahala. If a British citizen, and you've mentioned the case, but if somebody has a 2 years visa or a 2 years permit, so they give the 2 years on a pathway to indefinite leave, and that was following the 9th of July 2012 immigration rule change that changed what we call the FM appendix, which is family life appendix. Under Article 8. Article 8 before used to just be one whole one, but they divided it into two. So you have private life and you have family life. So family life is now removed, and under that you can get either discretionary leave under 3 years, 2 times 6 years, and indefinite leave, or 2 years or to 10 years. So as a family, if you have children that are British citizen, you could get it on those basis as family member of a British citizen. And other people also have the European equivalent, which is the derivative, which is done under EEA regulation 2016. I'm dropping these laws in so that people know that we are not talking rubbish here. We are talking facts here. Sir, if somebody has a 2 years limited leave, there are 2 conditions that support that document. One is that they are not involved in any form of criminality, because the states can withdraw that paper from them at any point if they're involved in any criminality. Number one. Yeah. Number 2, that they pass the residential test. If they do not pass that residential test, it could be extended. So the 2 years they want to renew or the 5 years they want to renew can be extended. Based on my little knowledge, I understand that it is 90 days for every year, 270 days for 3 years, except you have an exceptional circumstances, which you will need a good lawyer to help you write it out. Not that you go and write it yourself and send it, because the state will just slap you down. They won't accept it. So now, if somebody has a 2 years limited leave or 5 years limited leave and decide that they want to go and stay in Nigeria and get involved in all kind of activities with iPod or the Yoruba Nation. But more importantly, if they are giving money, because we know under the Yoruba Nation, so let me use practical example so that people will not say we are talking theory. People gave out almost close to £45,000 to Yoruba Nation to buy a vehicle. And during a town hall meeting that was called, a lot of people on that town hall meeting were asking for people to raise money for arms. Now, if somebody is involved in raising money for those vehicles, which is used to parade and drive people out of farmlands who are ordinary Nigerians to terrorize individuals, if this information gets to the knowledge of the Home Office, either through a disgruntled individual or through wide publication of it, and that person is refused, can that person be refused the renewal of their status, sir?
Definitely. Definitely. Because if you recall, for most of our viewers who are completing application for leave to remain in the UK, I think since 2014 or thereabout, there is this section under terrorism in the application where it is asking some specific questions where you need to say yes or no. And I will read 1 or 2 of them out now. It says, have you ever been a member of or giving support to an organization which has been concerned in terrorism? Now, the answer to that should be either yes or no. And I think I dealt with this area vaguely at the last program when we were talking about people donating money to them I said it will only take somebody who does not like your face and who knows that you have been involved in giving these people money to just write a letter to the Home Secretary and to give them evidence. Because if it is evidence-based, because if you give money to them, they will write your name down. Mr. So gave us so. The Home Secretary would not take kindly to that because, as far as this country is concerned, you'll be classed as not conducive to the public good. Because if you can be planning such things, supporting such organizations in another country, what stops you from supporting similar organizations here in the UK? So this is the reason why we are saying what we are saying now. That our people must be very, very careful. Because all these questions are put there for a reason. And the reason is simply because they want you, to be upfront with them. And if now this is something that you cannot win. Either you say yes or no. If you say yes, you can't win. If you say no and somebody goes behind your back and give them evidence that you are lying, that again is another problem. So this is why we are saying people have to be very, very, very careful. You see, I think where many of our people are missing the point is there's nothing wrong in you agitating for something. It's your fundamental human right to agitate for anything. But it is how you agitate for it and how you follow your agitation. That is the bone of contention now. That is the bone of contention now. Because whatever it is you're agitating for, you have to do it in a civilized way. There are ways and means by which you can ask for something legitimately. But if it becomes an issue where you are now trying to enforce your agitation on other people, just like the video of that Koikiga you showed earlier, who he now wants the monarchy of his town, to follow. You don't do things like that. If you have to win my heart for me to follow you in your agitation. You cannot force me that because you carry something on your heart, then I must follow you. Says who? You have to explain to me what your agitations are, why you are agitating for it. Try to convince me. You cannot force me to follow you because every human being has their own mind. So this is where some of them are getting it wrong. And when you try to explain to them, they don't want to listen. And that is what is really, really bugging me about our people because especially many of the educated and enlightened ones, sometimes they allow their ethnic sentiment to becloud their sense of reasoning. It makes us believe. It does.
Because now, just like you've highlighted, sir, you've gone down into it, and you've already said that even when you hold a British passport, that doesn't mean that you're immune from it. And I think you should say one or two things about that because people might think that but that girl was really involved in terrorism. The bottom line is that when you give money to a terrorist group, to a group that are carrying out terrorism activities, you are likely to follow them down. You are likely to be in trouble with them. Now, let me go into okay, yeah, you can say something, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I'm just going to go straight into I was talking about good behavior issue earlier on under the naturalization application. There's another question there. Just to buttress what you just said now. It says, have you ever engaged in any other activities which might indicate that you may not be considered to be a person of good character? So can somebody tell me that somebody who says, is that a good character? These are the issues. These are what we're talking about here. Now, this question has nothing to do with terrorism per se. It's just talking about good character. So, which means if you are considered not to be of good character, the Secretary of State can deny you citizenship based on that alone, without you being a member of any terrorist group. So I think I don't want our people to delude themselves with whatever ideology that they have in their mind or on their mind. We have to be very, very careful how we go about whatever dictations we have in mind now, because you just don't know who is watching. You don't know who's watching. I don't know if that has, because I jumped on it because of something you said earlier on. That's why I decided to jump on it now, to let people know that you don't necessarily have to belong to a terrorism organization or support a terrorism organization for you to get into trouble. If your act is deemed to be supporting certain group, which indicates that you cannot be classed as someone with good character, you get into trouble. So that's what we're talking about here. You remember I mentioned earlier that when you are applying for naturalization, common parking ticket, if you have a couple of them and you have not paid for them, you can be denied nationality because of that. So that is, I'm just trying to break it down for our people to understand the enormity of what we're talking about here. It has nothing to do with, we have agitation, we want to do this, we want to. That's not the issue here. If you, like I said earlier on, there's nothing wrong in you agitating for something. But what is wrong is how you go about your agitation. That is where the bone of contention is. If you go about it the wrong way, then you will definitely get into trouble.
Okay, sir. I think you've you've actually dealt with it effectively, and I'm very happy that at least people are watching us right now. If you're watching us, you can like this page, you can share this page, and please remember we are here to help educate our people. You know, if we say that you can do referendum, you can easily. Thank God for Twitter and YouTube. You could set up a referendum very easily. Give it a 1 month period and call people to vote whether they want to stay in Nigeria or not. Based on that, you can go to your member of parliament and say, listen, more than 2.5 million people or more than 20 million people have said that they want to leave. They don't like this nation, and you know, this marriage of convenience, and they want to leave. Based on that, your member of parliament can lay a paper on the floor of the house in Nigeria and let them have a debate about it. Nobody is saying that is not allowed in law. However, saying that people just have to follow you by hook or by crook is what we are talking about. Sir, I want to ask you a question as we start to round up little by little. Those people like Nnamdi Kanu, who has decided not to come back to the UK and still holds a British passport, is it that the UK government is really supporting these people breaking up Nigeria or calling for? Because nobody have seen any action by the UK government. So people say, why is it that the UK government has not done anything to actually come out publicly to say, you know what, this kind of using violence is not allowed, and these people involved are British citizens or people holding British status? Is it that the UK is releasing British citizens to come and disrupt the Nigerian state? Because some people are asking that question.
I wouldn't put it like that. I would flip the coin the other way around. That the duty to call them to action is the duty of the Attorney General of Nigeria. He has the power, to get in touch with the British government to say, look, these people are your citizens, and they are fomenting trouble in my country. Because I believe Nigeria and UK have a bilateral agreement, and under that agreement, the Attorney General of Nigeria can make representation to the UK government. Perhaps maybe that's what the UK government is waiting for, because the UK government cannot willy-nilly go and do anything unless what Kanu is doing has direct impact on the UK community. Whatever he's doing, he's directing it at Nigeria. So if the Attorney General of Nigeria sits akimbo in his office, not doing anything about it, we cannot blame UK government, because UK government will only act when asked to. So that's the way I would answer I would answer that question. I won't blame the UK government at all, because as far as they're concerned, so long as the guy does not cause trouble in the UK, you know, it's free to do whatever he wants to do. But then Nigerian government, who is at the receiving end of what he is doing, because that guy has a lot of video, yeah, that is enough to nail him completely. But why the Attorney General of Nigeria is not doing anything about it? I think he should. Maybe if there's a way we can bring him on this program and ask him that question, you know, he will be the one to, you know, he should be the one to answer us what's going on.
I think you've raised some very important questions, sir, because what you've more or less highlighted is that the Attorney General, who is also a son, should know better in terms of how he manages this issue that is ongoing, and it seems as if he is a bit silent on the way things should go. So if you have an advice to the Nigerian government right now, to Honorable Abike Dabiri, who also is the head of the the Diaspora Commission, what will you be saying to her, you know, in terms of what should be happening right now? What will you be saying to the Attorney General? What will you be saying to the Minister of Information about the way they should handle this issue?
I wouldn't even put Honorable Abike Dabiri in that, because that's not her body. She's just here for Nigerians in diaspora. That's her forte. Again, like I said, this rests squarely with the Attorney General of the Federation. This time for information is only just to disseminate information and manage information. That's all it does. The Attorney General is the person directly responsible for, because we're talking about something, somebody who is more or less like a threat to the country. So the Attorney General has all the powers in the world, yeah, to liaise with the UK government with evidence. And like I said, there's a lot of evidence of either videos, even long before he went to Nigeria and ran out when the security forces went for him. There were videos that he went around America, Europe, and everything, collecting money, and he said it in those videos that he was collecting money to buy ammunition to fight the nation. For me, what more evidence do you need to know that this guy is a danger to the society? I've just told you here that UK has his own security anti-terrorism security act, which it has. Okay, I'll give you another issue. Before 2014, yeah, the Anti-Terrorism Act only allows the UK government to strip people of their British citizenship on three grounds. Yeah, one is false representation. Yeah, the second is concealment of information, and the third one is on fraud. Okay, but when Theresa May was the Home Secretary, that was when she strengthened things and added the proviso that you can be stripped of your British citizenship if you are deemed to be if it is deemed that doing so, yeah, is deemed to be conducive to the public good. This is where the issue of good character came in. In other words, she watered it down now that we don't. She more or less like brought down the threshold to include petty stuff. It's like I said earlier on, parking ticket or maybe even credit card. If you owe money on your credit card and you don't pay it off, that can give you a problem. You can be stripped of your citizenship because of that. So these are the issues that I'm talking about here. That our people must be very, very circumspect how we live at, especially our utterances on social media. Does not forget. Social media does not forget and does not forgive. We're all living witnesses to it. Maybe early this year or maybe last year, when certain people were given appointment in this government, and people rose and said, "No, these are the same guys who are antagonistic of this government." Now the people that were given appointment, they went quickly to begin to delete their social media posts, not knowing that other people have already bookmarked it, and they were bringing it out that you deleted this, you deleted this. This is what you said on social media. This is what you said on social media. So that's why I keep saying to people, social media does not forget, and does not forgive. So you have to be very, very careful what you say, what you do, because you just don't know who's watching. And at a crucial moment, it might be used against you. So this is what this program is all about. To warn our people, let us be circumspect. Because I think it was Professor Olodo that was asking that question the other day. He said many of these people who are giving them money, if you ask them, many of them have families back home who are dying of hunger. They've not given them money, but they are giving somebody money to go and buy arms and ammunition. And I made an example too that Amoteku was set up, to fight the same thing they are claiming they are fighting now. None of them ever made any effort to join Amoteku, and they never made any effort to contribute money to say, okay, let's do this so that Amoteku can have just ordinary surveillance equipment for them to be able to go to the bushes and find out all these herdsmen and all that. They didn't do that because Amoteku is a legitimate outfit under the Nigerian government. So if you send money to Amoteku, nobody will hold you responsible for that because that is a legitimate organization set up by the government. But for one person to just wake up tomorrow to say, I'm fighting, because I saw the question here, somebody says he's defending his clan from oppression and brutality. Fine, there's nothing wrong with you doing that. But must you carry arms to do it? If I want to defend my client, I go to court. If there's anything being done, to my tribe that I don't like, I go to court. And if the Nigerian court does not want to play ball, I go to international court. There are so many ways to do all these things, but the last thing you want to do is to take up arms against a state. Because the thing is, because sometimes they delude themselves by saying certain countries are giving up, they are not, blah, 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 blah. But one thing they fail to realize is when the chips are down, these countries will never support individuals. They will only support countries because they have a lot to lose by supporting you against that country. People forget that. Ojukwu was given tacit support by so many countries before he went on for the Civil War. But when the Civil War came, Ojukwu himself wrote it in his memoirs how he got supported by so many countries that gave him the North. Because it was the North he got at the time that made him to jettison every agreement made in Aburi. And decided to go to war. So it is the knowledge of all of this that is making people like me and Professor Olodo and Professor Oduto to be talking to our people to say, be very careful. Be very careful. When you want to start a war, it is only the beginning you know. You don't know how it's going to end. If Ojukwu knew he was going to run away, I'm sure he would never have started the Civil War. That was why I give him credit for that. Before he died, he said it on record that it will be senseless for anybody, to go back to Biafra, to start talking about Biafra again. He said it on the video, wholeheartedly. But then it's unfortunate that his people now seem to be pissing on his grave now by now shouting Biafra again. When the creator of Biafra himself has said that it is senseless for anybody to be talking about Biafra, to want to revisit Biafra again. Because Ojukwu knew what he went through. So I guess, I don't know if I've made my point, if I've answered the question, sir.
Yeah, you have answered my question, sir. And, we are now just 2 minutes away. If you have any message, you've already given message to the Nigerian government in terms of how to move things forward, what would be your advice? Let for 1 minute say, we are called by the Yoruba Nation or iPod, and they say, please advise us, how can we do things legitimately? How can we ensure that we keep asking for separation from Nigeria and we do it legitimately? What will be your answer to them? Because sometimes it's always good to say, you know what, we're not, let them know we're not really against their plans, but against the way in which they are going about it. So if as a lawyer you are called and you said, you know what, we want to leave Nigeria, how will you advise them in 2 minutes on what they need to do that will get professionals and get proper recognition for what they want to do?
First of all, my take on that would be just like I said last week, because I don't eat my words. I said secession for me is a coward's way out of any situation. That was why I said on that day, I said, if you ask me that do Nigeria have problems? Hell yes, we have. But then another question is, which country does not have problems in the whole world? If this country we're living in, they have their own problems too. Even though Scotland has been, they've devolved power to them, they still want more. We all live in this country and we see it. They still want more. They still want that autonomy. That was why, when the issue of Brexit came up, we know their stand on it. But like I've always said, there's nothing wrong in people having agitations. It is your human right to have agitation. If something is going on and you don't like it, yes, you have a duty to agitate for something else. But like I've always said, it is how you agitate for it that is the bone of contention. There are so many ways you can agitate. One of it is to call for a referendum. If the government is not giving you a referendum, we live in social media world now. In this country, you can see you see it on Twitter or WhatsApp, where certain issues, some people, an individual will just take it up for themselves and say, I want certain maybe 100,000 signatures for this thing, so that we can push it to the parliament. We can do the same thing in Yoruba land. You don't have to go to anybody people's houses to get their signatures. You can do it online. Get people to sign that. Okay, we want to leave. If you have good enough numbers, you can then take that to your representatives at National Assembly. Now, if they are not playing ball, the Nigerian Constitution allows you to recall them. You see, these are legitimate means of fighting for your rights. If they are doing that, nobody will fault them. They have House of Reps, they have senators representing them there. If you have all these signatures, maybe if you run into at least 10% of the population in Southwest, you can take it to these people and say, this are our agitations. I want you to run it for us at National Assembly. And if they are not doing that, the Constitution of Nigeria allows you to recall them. So I don't see what the issue there is for anybody to. That's why I said the other day that secession agenda to me is a coward's way out, because it's the easiest thing for anybody to want to do, to go and start shouting, I want out of this country, I want out of that country, blah 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 blah. It's a coward's way out. It is a strong man who has ideas in his head will not take that road. He will take the route that is legitimate. It may not happen in 5 years, it may not happen in 10 years. Just like the devolution of power in this country did not happen in 5-10 years. But they kept at it. They kept, hammering on the same issue, until finally Tony Blair gave them a devolution of power. That was when Wales, gave Wales their own assembly, and Scotland has their own too. That's a start. But like I said earlier on, even Scotland still wants more now. But they are doing it in a civilized way, without having to go and gather money to go and buy guns or to go and buy buses. It may take them another. They may not even get it in this lifetime, but it will be on record that they fought for it and they got what they wanted in the end. So this will be my own advice to these people, that you're doing it the wrong way. But if you ask for my own personal opinion, I don't even see the sense. You're not saying we want that. Like I've said to you, I believe in Oduduwa race. Yes. But I don't believe in Oduduwa nation. And I'm giving my reasons for that. is that it's all a pack of lies. Because the moment they get it too, yeah, now we have one common enemy, which is the Hausa Fulani. The moment they have it, I can bet you the Yoruba nation will not last a year. The same hatred that they have for the Hausa Fulani, they will transport it into themselves. It will implode within a year. Mark my words. Because I'm a Yoruba man, and I know what I'm talking about. I have seen it. The Egbas don't like the Abekutas. Sorry, the Egbas don't like the Jebus. The Jebus don't like the Aworis. The Aworis don't like the Ekitis. So what are we talking about? We are better off being in a nation where, you see, now this another thing that is bothering me is this. Has any state governor ever complained of not getting their dues every month when they go to Abuja? No. I remember when the last government was there, for a year and a half, they were not getting it regularly. They were not getting the full monthly allocations. This government came in, was giving it to them full, and even gave them what is called, I think, Paris something. He gave them more money, about 3 or 4 tranches that he gave them, just to augment what they lost when Jonathan was there. So is it now that we're now talking of agitation? Agitation for what? So that's why I said, for me, the indices are not there. And even if they are saying they are indices, now today is that. So what are we talking about? Why are we doing it now when the Yorubas have a very good representation within this government and the people who put there are doing good? So these are I'm just giving you two sides of the same coin for you now. I hope maybe those listening will be able to take either of the two. My advice to them and my own personal feeling is what I've just expressed now.
Thank you so much. I've seen that the internet have gone bizarre. People have started listening. I want to play a video and I want you to comment on that video because I want to end with that video because it's a very informed and respected barrister in Nigeria that have said this. Please listen to it.
Nigeria is the largest concentration of black people on earth. We must make it to succeed. Those who are calling for a breakup of Nigeria along ethnic lines are short-sighted. We profoundly respect them. They are short-sighted. They simply want to transfer national oppression, national exploitation to their own fiefdoms. That's all. It's not about, none of them is talking about education for everybody in their imagined republic. None of them is addressing the type of economy that will promote prosperity in the republic of their dream. It's all about, let us have our own fiefdom to continue the oppression of the masses. And that will not work. And by the way, all those who are demanding, who are declaring republics online, have they held referenda? Have they held plebiscites? Where the people have now said, we are leaving Nigeria. Nobody has done that. A group of people just suddenly decide, we want to go. To where? You must address the problems of underdevelopment of the country. And these problems that they are posing as, or the excuse for a possible breakup, right? It's man-made. Those problems can be solved.
You've heard what the respected barrister has said about people being short-sighted and the fact is, the fact speaks for itself. But let me ask you a question, because you see, people might say all kind of things. At least I grew up, in Nigeria, and I knew how Nigeria was, and we have a lot of challenges with Nigeria. But even when you want to win people, especially in the Yoruba land, you want to win people to your side. When people start reminding you of how they created violence and carried out violence in the past, and how they can deliver that violence to you again the same way they delivered it in the past. And I'm using this especially Sunday Igboho, because he said it. He not only did he insult the imperial majesty, the Oni of Ife, who is Yoruba. Ile-Ife is the cradle of the Yoruba land, so it's like the Switzerland of Europe. Not only did he insult that imperial leader, he said that we will block your car on the road, so the mens rea is there. The actor said us, and we will declare bullets on you. And then we had his spokesperson said, we will knock down the head of you, Oba, for telling us not to go to war. Not that he's against, because I stand corrected, sir. Have you heard of any Oba that have come out to say we are not in support of Yoruba nation? Because I've not heard one. And I've not heard of anyone that says we are against Yoruba integration or coming together. Because in fact, there's a newspaper report that says that even OPC now is distancing themselves from the Yoruba nation. And not only that, sir, there is now discussion that is ongoing where the Afeniferes are now the subject of abuse of those groups that call themselves Yoruba Nation. So it looks as if the Yoruba Nation seems to be a militant group of an agitation for a Yoruba state, which is the Omoluabi nation. So, but the question I want to ask you, sir, with all due respect, there are just 3 questions. Have you seen the manifesto of the Yoruba nation that talks about what they want to deliver in the next 10 years, sir?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I've not seen it.
You just show the video of you just show the video of their manifesto.
Okay.
The one by Koiki. Is that not a manifesto?
It is. It says they are going to come out, they're going to declare they've set up their flag in Surulere, and now they're going to go after the Obas.
That for me is a manifesto. So that is their manifesto.
It doesn't need to be written. Constitution can be written and unwritten. That's what we're taught in law 101.
This country does not have a written constitution, do they?
No, they don't.
But they do have a constitution anyway. You get the point? So they have a manifesto, and they've shown us the manifesto, right? And I believe that is why somebody like the learned Femi Falana would never support such agitation, and that is why anybody with half a brain would never support them. And if you see any educated or enlightened person supporting them, I think I will just remind them of what this Dr. Chuba Okadibu said. That if your education does not broaden your mind so much so that you cannot think beyond your ethnicity, it says your education is a waste. And that's the way I look at it. And any educated or enlightened person who follows them, that is the way I look at them. And that's why I said earlier on, I'm a Yoruba man, and I believe in Yoruba race, but I don't believe in Yoruba nation, because in my own book, there is nothing like that. Is there Yoruba race? Yes, there is a Yoruba race. Or Yoruba nation? So even if there's going to be one, it has to be one that is fully demarcated, fully planned, and like the learned Tifano said, I have to be consulted on it. Do I want it or not? You cannot just railroad me into somebody's fantasy because he woke up from the wrong side of his bed. He just said, "Oh, let's have our own federation," and you expect me to just follow you. I'm not stupid.
Okay, sir. Let me ask you this question because I know you've been following this discussion for quite some time. And for those that are watching us, please like this page, share this page. If you don't like what we're saying, just dislike it. You know, it's good because at least it shows that we are doing something, and that at least you are being engaged. So I want to ask you these 4 questions because I know you're a respectable lawyer, and I want to ask: have you seen, because they said that there's not going to be an election come 2023, have you seen the budget plan of the Yoruba nation for 2023 to say this is how we're going to spend money, this is our plan? Have you seen one, sir? Because I just need to ask so that people that are listening to us could say, oh, no, there's a budget somewhere, this is what they're going to do, there's going to be free election. We know for example, I'll give you a classic example, sir. The Awolowo legacy. If you call a child that was born 10 years ago and you ask him what is Awolowo, he will tell you free education, free health, free this. They can tell you what it is.
Yeah.
What is the Yoruba nation? Do they have a plan? Do they have a budget? Have you seen their budget?
Well, they have a kitty where some people are putting money into. That's all I know. Whether they have a budget of how that is going to be spent, nobody knows. And I certainly haven't seen one. But all I know is some people, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, are gathering money. Yeah, for them. What they want to do with it, only God knows. And from what I heard recently now, there's been some issues amongst themselves too, issues bordering on fraud and stuff like that. I don't know how true that is, but it is out there in the open. There's some kind of skirmish because I watched a video between Kochi and one woman where the woman was talking about some 2.5 million naira or something, a donation that was made, and they have no idea where the money has gone to. So that's all we know. But whether they have a budget of what to do, of what to do or what to spend that money on, I can only take a guess that perhaps maybe they want to use it to amass ammunition. Again, like I said, I'm just amassing a guess here.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a few questions, but let me answer some of the questions that have been put up here. My learned brother have asked me that do we think that the House of Representatives will present such a bill in the House? Just like my learned brother have said here, if, for example, and I'm just giving an example, sir. If, for example, we do, Yoruba Nation says, give us 3 months and say, we are putting up a vote on Facebook or YouTube. They set up a website and say, let people vote whether they want to leave or not. And 15 million Nigerians voted in support, while maybe 5 million Yorubas voted against and 15 million voted in support. That is a clear indication that there are more people in support of the agitation, even though there are few millions that are not in support. And with that number, if they go to a member of the House of Representatives and say, we have this voting, because you are in the UK and you know that if even just 100,000, in fact, even if they put the vote here in the UK and they say, we want the UK government to support to have a debate about whether Yoruba Nation should leave Nigeria, and 100,000 Nigerians in the UK vote for that debate will happen in the House of Commons. Now, if you put that kind of assertion together and you have 15 million people put their name together, believe you me, there is no politician in Nigeria that will not want to raise that issue in the House because they know they will get more votes for raising that issue. That's number one. Number two, they also know that if you approach them, you can technically, because how many of them had more than 2 million people vote for them at any given time? So you have the power to get to mobilize people in their locality to actually vote, because I think you only need 2/3 of the people that voted for them to unseat them. So you just write to INEC to say we want to unseat this person. They will set up a ballot vote, and I know it's been done for Dele Molayo, and it was almost removed. So that can happen. That's question number one. Question number two, I've now been asked, where do you want the Yoruba nation to get the budget from? A budget is a prediction. You don't need to have the money. So let me give you an example. And I'm giving this example free of charge, sir. I should normally be charging for this, but I will give it free of charge at this moment because my learned brother that is asking me. If, as a consultant, I am asked to develop a budget for the Yoruba nation, I can do it within 10 minutes, sir. Why? Because all I need to do is bring all the Southwest states budget together. All I need to do is bring the Southwest state budget together, amalgamate their budget for education, amalgamate their budget for agriculture, amalgamate their budget for industrialization, amalgamate their budget for land, for road, amalgamate their budget. So if you bring the budget of Lagos State, Ogun State, Oyo State, Osun State together, you will have a budget of the Southwest Nigeria. Common sense. Is that not so, sir? Is that not right, sir? You put the budget of those people together. Now, what you can now do is rearrange that budget. And if I was advising them, I would have said, for example, I'll give a classic example. And this is how intellectuals think. I was okay, what are the 10 things that the Yoruba nation or Yoruba people we really want now, as they are suffering and they cannot eat? I would say social welfare is one area. So I would say that we will provide 1.3 trillion naira towards support services for people over the age of 50 or anybody above the age of 80 who is not in school but have no food. And then you will come to me and say, where will you get that money? I will say, I'm going to remove all the security vote for all the governors. That will make up my 1.3 trillion to deal with that. Simple. Then you will ask me, I'll say I'll give free education from primary school to university. And you tell me that on its own can be about 6 trillion. And I will tell you, this is how I'm going to get that money. I'm going to open up tourism in Southwest because we have a lot of artifacts. And I know I can make 1.5 trillion from that. Remaining 4.5. The ports in Lagos, we're going to, all the money is coming to us. So I'm going to get it. Where the immigration borders at Ogun State and Lagos State, I'm going to open up the opportunities there, and we're going to make another 2 trillion. That's another 3.5 trillion. So remaining 2. So what I'm saying is, you don't need to have that money. You only need to come up with a budget. And when people hear that, they will say, these people are really thinking. Sir, let me ask you a question, sir, because I know you are with us now. Let me ask you a question. Have you seen any of the Yoruba economists come up to say 15 ways the Yoruba nation will be the top economy or top destination, business destination in the next 7 years? Have you seen it, sir?
No, none at all.
Have you seen any document that talks about, the business plan of the Yoruba nation and how they're going to remove everybody from poverty? Business people, how the business people will run their business come 2023, sir. No, because we need to ask this question so that all the people that are listening to us, we know that we are talking intelligently here.
Yeah, you know why I'm laughing? What maybe
Yes,
that
sir.
was when you were asking that question, I remember what Pastor Makere said recently about some Shakabula leaders. So I was going to say to you, how do you expect Shakabula leaders to think on that highest level? That's why for me, again, you see, it pains me, that the Yoruba race that is proud, that is known as one of the most intelligent in Yoruba land, in Nigeria, and now it is some Sakabula leaders now that now want to lead us, and some supposedly educated people are following them. I saw one professor following them, and I'm like, shouldn't you be the ones schooling them? Because all these questions you are asking now, sir, I would have expected that professor, yeah, to call them to a round table to say, look, before you start all these agitations, these are the things we need to put on the drawing board for. Because an intelligent person will not just follow you without asking you all these questions. If you want, you had I think Femi Falana asked that question. Say, follow you to where? What programs have you lined down for me to say, okay, maybe you have a point here. You see, these are the issues. For somebody, that question that you are answering earlier on, for that person to be asking you, where do you want them to get the budget from? That tells you that person who asked that question is only following what he does not know anything about. He doesn't really know why he's following them. And you see a lot of people like that in the Yoruba race, which pains me a lot. Which means the free education that Papa Awolowo gives to so many of our people is not going to waste now, because you have people now coming on social media to ask questions that the Yorubas will say, I don't know if that has answered your question, sir.
No, you've answered my question, sir. Because a lot of questions, and people are throwing questions to me from left, right, and center. If you're watching us right now, please like this page, share this page. I had there's a comment that says Are Anakakanfo came up with his own analysis. Are Anakakanfo is not a recognized economist, so he cannot come up. If he comes up with a plan of a Yoruba nation, to say this is the kind of police we will have, the kind of military we have. I've not seen any of our Yoruba generals to say this is the number of army we will need, or navy that we will need, the number of money, the amount we will need for ship, the amount of money we will need for Yoruba police, the amount of money we need. I've not seen, sir. I'm asking questions and I'm banging my head against the wall, because you see, we have a situation where I've not even seen Yoruba legal minds coming together to say this is how we will improve our laws to be able to deal with legal jurisprudence. This is how we're going to address. And people are saying, "Oh, we've joined the first what did they call it? Lost tribes of the nation, and they've registered us in one United Nations group. So we can now leave leave Nigeria." And nobody is saying don't leave Nigeria, but we say leave Nigeria intelligently. Come up with a plan. Now that we said it and it's on public record now, we'll tell you that if you are not careful, you could lose your immigration status and go back and join the hundreds of millions of Nigerians, because there are now over 90 million Nigerians that are in extreme poverty. So if you lose your papers in the UK, you are going to go and join those groups. Let's be very clear. Yeah, and if you are not clear about what you are doing, you will be in trouble. These are groups that have no plans for how they will boost the economy, how they will do things. I've heard that there's one Adeyinka grandson. I don't know who is Adeyinka, and I've not seen that document out there. That one Adeyinka grandson has developed a document. So all the economists, they've not developed anything. So as we round up, I said a word is enough for a wise. What is that word for a wise that you, because this video is going to go viral. A lot of people are watching it from all kinds of areas. Please tell us where you're watching us from. Like this page, share this page. Let people know that they might lose their status. And this status is not just about UK alone. It even includes America and other European countries. So let people know. So it's not like we're not joking here. We're telling you that you can lose your status if you are not careful. And if you really are interested, just like my brother said, if you are interested in this agitation, bring yourself together, excuse yourself from the militants, and set up your own intellectual group and start talking. A Yoruba Economist group for for independence, and start coming up with statistics, accountant association, lawyers association, start coming up with intelligent discussions so that people like myself and others who might be interested in what you have to say will listen, will imbibe it, ask you questions, and then make up our mind. So what would be your last word, sir, as we round up now?
I will give them my last word on the this issue of the new British citizenship stripping rule under the Immigration Act. Just one line. And I'm not saying you should believe me. Go and Google it. Yeah? When you Google it, you find out that between 2006 and 2016, yeah, the power to deprive citizenship, if conducive to the public good, yeah, was used 50 times. That is in 16 years, right? It was used 50 times in 16 years. But in 2017 alone, it happened 104 times. So what does that tell you? To some people, we are talking nonsense. But now when it happened, now then you go know say, Pomono be Manama. Because some of our people, they have this funny attitude of not wanting to take to the truth until they get burnt. What we are saying here is, like I said earlier on, and I will repeat it for the last time now. Nobody's saying you shouldn't agitate. But what we are saying is, agitate with sense. Do it the right way. Do it the legal way. If you do it illegally, because it's like if you want to fight to have an argument and you don't have it the right way, you will lose the argument. So if you want to agitate for whatever it is you're agitating for, you must do it the right way. And we have pointed out how to do it. You have representatives at the National Assembly. Get enough signatories, people to support your agitation. When you have that, you are telling your representative that you have the power to keep him there or to remove him if he doesn't follow what you are saying. It is not this stupid idea of I will buy you a force, you go and buy some AK-47 and all that. You will lose the fight both in Nigeria, and no international body would support you because nobody supports violence. So these are the issues we're talking about here. They can either take it or they can leave it. It's their choice. I made my own choice. That I believe in Yoruba race, but I don't believe in Yoruba nation. That is my choice. So your choice too is to either believe what we are saying to you today or to throw it away. At the end of the day, right? Whatever you do now has repercussions. You must always remember that. So that is my own final word, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for your comment and for everybody. Freedom of speech, like you mentioned earlier, people have a right to express their views. What we're saying is that there should not be violence involved in that agitation. And you can say you want to leave and nobody can actually question you on that. What we're saying is the violence, the threat that people cannot hold an election. Your freedom is, I know in law we were taught that there's a absolute, right to life is absolute. You cannot infringe on other people's right to life. But when you take other people's life, your life can also, you can forfeit your own life. And freedom of speech does not give you a right to infringe on other people's freedom of speech. And I think that's what we're saying. So there's a big difference. You can say you want to leave Yoruba nation and nobody's against that. And a lot of people, in fact, 99.9% can say yes, they actually support that assertion. But when you now say nobody can have the right to vote, anybody that says you should not go to war, you are going to kill them, or you are going to go after their property, that is where you are infringing on other people's right. And if you do that in the UK, you will lose your status. And that's what we're telling you. And that's what you've heard from an immigration consultant and lawyer who does this job. Me, I'm only asking questions. That's my job. I only ask questions, and I've asked the question. And I want to thank you, sir, for giving us this opportunity and privilege. We had a lot of people watching on YouTube, a lot of people watching on on Facebook and on Twitter, and this video is going viral. People are calling me from all over, to give me their views and opinion, disagree with me and also agree with me. But that is what it's all about, agreeing and disagreeing. Now join us again on Saturday, where we'll bring Diaspora Yoruba Lounge, and it's going to be live in Yoruba language, and it's going to be on Facebook, it's going to be on LinkedIn. That one we speak in Yoruba, is a mixture of Yoruba and English, and we'll be talking about a lot of things. We might bring up this issue again if people ask for it, and we're going to kill it, really kill it big time. Until then, if you want to send me an email, my email is running across. My website is there. My name is Temitope Olodo. I'm a preventive terrorism consultant, author, and president of African Security Forum. And I had with me today, my delight, my great honor, to have my brother and my friend, Barrister J.K. Adebola, who has been talking to us for over 1 hour and 35 minutes, and people have been enjoying every bit of it. So until we meet again, let me say, please, whatever you do, wash your hands, wear your masks, maintain social distancing. And even when I was in the city of London today, I saw at the Westminster Abbey, they had a plaque out there by the side, 10% discount for anybody that have taken their vaccine. So if you're not taking your vaccine, you can't get their 10% discount. That was a joke. But please take the vaccine if you need to take it, so that you can stay safe. For those that could not take it for medical reason, please stay safe. And we look forward to seeing you again on Saturday, 3 p.m. live on this program, UK time. Until I see you again, a big thank you to Barrister Adebola for your time. We really appreciate you. God bless you all, and God bless Yoruba people, the Omoluabis. God bless them. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.